Hello, friends. Come with me now on a journey through time and space as we go off to the mythical land of the UK. What is the UK, you may ask? Well, it used to be known as Great Britain. Before that, simply England. But the UK is a new, technocratic, managerially engineered state which is multicultural, multi-ethnic, diverse in all of its sexualities, and utterly horrifying in every way imaginable. It is possibly one of the greatest crimes to aesthetics that we have ever seen in the world. And there is an account run, I think, yes, in fact, definitely run by Drukpa Kunli, called UK Aesthetics. I feel like it should have a bruv at the end there, but it doesn't. And it's dedicated to chronicling the absolute aesthetic travesty that is the UK. And here is one of the first posts on the account, all the way back from the 2nd of January, saying, "Welcome to UK Aesthetics, a chronicle of the emerging New Britain, aka the UK, bruv, brought about by immigration and changing social norms." And we can see a few images here. So vote Ahmed Yaqub against this backdrop of a dilapidated factory. Must admit, he's not my favourite Yaqub in the world, but that's neither here nor there. Here we have the incredible range of ethnic diversity Deliveroo drivers. You can't hire Englishmen. And here we have foreigners assaulting swans and foreigners assaulting foreigners. Different variety foreigners, though, so you get a nice little bit of spice and variety in there. So why do this? Why catalogue all of these things? Well, for one, it's important for people to know very bluntly and in your face what's happening to the country, because in many ways life is an aesthetic experience. We are programmed to appreciate the beautiful, the divine, the sublime, and yet all of this is hideous. Every town centre, every town, every park, every billboard, every advertising board, everything in this country is hideous at this point. There are some remnants of the old world of England and Great Britain which still inspire and dazzle and amaze, yet most of it, your aesthetic experience coming through any town centre in England these days, is one of utter misery and hopelessness. And I think it's important in that sense because it gives our friends across the pond in America and elsewhere in the world a bit of a look into that as well. So let's carry on looking through this and see what else we can unearth. So this is a very, very simple one that's about to pop up now, but it says a lot, right? Because it may just look, well, this is mostly an empty football stadium, right? No, wrong. You need to look in the margins. Look at what's going on the edges of society. Here we have the ethnically diverse security staff doing their job, I'm sure, and not bunking off and lazily staring into space like they normally do at all the venues that I've been to. But it's very rare to find any kind of English security guard anymore. Everywhere you go, it's always foreigners. I wonder why. Could it be anything to do with cheap wages? Yes. Yes, it's everything to do with cheap wages. But it's one of those things where you just go into a venue, you look at these people, you go, you've just got off the boat yesterday, you're being paid the absolute least possible to do this job. Are you going to protect me? Can you secure this premises? In my experience, I've got to admit, when you go through all of the different technological checkups that they have, that's all very high-tech, that's all very secure. These guys are the weak link. They don't really seem to care all that much. They will wave you through. They'll check your bags, but really what they just do is go, pat, pat, pat. It's fine, go on through. You could have anything in there, but who cares? Who cares? That's just a small thing. We have in the UK overbearing propaganda everywhere. Again, against these horrifying urban backdrops of decay and aesthetic criminality. Middle Eastern, Turkish, Persian, Asian, African, who knows what this is? Maybe a restaurant in an old church. It wouldn't be the first time. Thank God for immigrants, thank God for immigrants, thank God for immigrants. It's that old idea of propaganda. Repeat it often enough and it gets lodged in people's heads. People will believe it if you say it enough, and this is everywhere. This kind of thing is everywhere, particularly in the more diverse areas of England, the UK, probably because of the fact that if you are an old Englishman, looking around going, hold up, I feel like I'm in a foreign country. You need extra reinforcement to let you know this is normal, it's good, and in fact, it may be different, but it's a good thing because you didn't deserve your country in the first place. Thank God for immigrants. They make all of us better, as you can see by how nice these places are. Import the third world, get the first world? Maybe. I go down the M6 at least twice a week as part of my job, and I see something basically like this. There is at least one of them northbound up the M6 in the UK of a foreign call to prayer. Don't get the Lord's Prayer down there. Don't get any sort of pagan sayings. You don't get passages from Beowulf on the side of the motorway. You do get calls to prayer for Allah. I feel so welcome. I feel so welcome in the UK. UK school student speaks out against her school's institutional racism. I don't know how it could be institutionally racist because, generally speaking, schools like this have very, very diverse faculty and very, very diverse students. But maybe this is like a Sunni Shia schism in the school. Perhaps it's one of those things where there are different diverse ethnicities that all hate one another. Maybe one of them's running the school and they hate her. Maybe she's Pakistani and maybe the school is being run by Indians. So maybe there is institutional racism in there. I don't know. It shouldn't be here. It's ridiculous that we've managed to engineer foreign conflicts in our own schools a lot of the time. But this is just the state of the UK. It's normal and it's a good thing. And it's not happening. But if it is a good thing. Here's another one. Again, in town centres, on TikTok, people just saying, does Southport have more Indian people or Pakistani people? What about English people? No, because it's a foreign country. It's a foreign country now in a lot of this nation, once great nation. And look around at the back here as well. This, what I was talking about, where all of the town centres feel and look the same, oftentimes they've got these awful neon light aesthetics. All of the shops tend to be run by foreigners of dubious legality of whether they're in there. And that's just the towns, and a lot of the shires and the rural villages and places like that, you're starting to see this aesthetic pop up as well. Near me, there's a old Tudor town, and down the high street, it used to be all lovely local run businesses and Tudor buildings. Now you're getting one or two of these places popping up with like nail salons run by Asians, Turkish barbers, and it ruins the aesthetic of the entire place, and it just lets you know, okay, this is occupied now. We are becoming an occupied territory. So that's fun. God, I'm demoralized. It's important to remember what you're fighting for, but this is one of the worst crimes in my eyes and to my ears, which is the bastardization of the English language into UK speak, UK English, which is a mixture of Cockney English, Jamaican slang, Creole, and a load of other different ethnic verbiage, and it creates this horrifying monstrosity. We're no longer talking about the language of Shakespeare. We're no longer talking about the language of Chaucer or anybody else. We're talking about, oh my days! Big man ting! Mate! Happy birthday, innit? Fam, happy birthday, innit? Me love you like... Curry goat? Rice and peas, mac and cheese, jerk rice? What's that say? Apologies, folks. Sorry we not have that. Right. I would make speaking like this a crime, but, I mean, for one, obviously, if you talk like this, you sound stupid. To anybody around you, you sound like an idiot. This is a very low IQ manner of speech. Secondly, I think that's the point, because maybe the sorts of people that the government have been importing against the people's wishes for at least since the 1960s, Enoch Powell was talking about it then for a reason after all, perhaps they're a little bit more simple than the rest of us, and perhaps that makes them easier to control. Just something to think about then. And the final crime combines all of these with this Nando's advert. Are you ready, folks? I'm not ready, but I'll play a little bit of it anyway. Enjoy.
Listen, listen. Alright, so at Nando's last night, yeah? Walk straight in like, man needs no menu. Just about to order when Jonesy says, do you do nuggets? Literally, the whole restaurant starts creasing and Layla says, are you not embarrassed? Then, boom! This guy bolts through screaming.
I think that's enough of that. This is a legitimate advert in the UK, bruv, for Nando's, and it is horrifying. If there's a way to be both aesthetically off-putting, remind you that you've been colonized, and frankly just be annoying as well, this manner of speech, this manner of storytelling, the smug, overly... I don't even know if it's ironic or sincere. I feel like this is partially sincere because this is what they want the UK to look like, and this is how they want people to behave. This is how they want people to think. They want you to be a nice consumer that's got this mushed up, melting pot culture, which is in fact no culture at all. It is a bastardization of history and culture. This is what they think the ideal man is. A multi-ethnic guy with loads of different friends from everybody, like it's Captain Planet, and he talked like this, bruv, and he tell a lot of sort of pretty stories about how he was at Nando's once and it was dead funny, innit? And if you think that that's a world worth living in, if you think that that's a culture worth defending, I disagree with you. I would rather die than defend this. I would sooner send myself... I will end there. I will end there. But this is not something that anybody would think worth defending. And rightfully so, because it is hideous, it is a crime, and it is targeted against the truly British people. But what would I know? Because I live in the UK.